So recently I've been doing a lot of thinking about all the creepy experiences that I had throughout all my life. And there's one that really freaked me out when it happened when I was 6 years old during Independence Day. I don't remember most of it, but I'll try giving as much detail as possible. I live in Malaysia, so our Independence Day falls on the 31st of August, and back in 2005, everyone was really excited and hyped about it. I'm talking about a lot of fireworks in every park and parties and so on. I live in a small town in Malaysia called Ipoh, and at night, there are some pretty creepy guys and it's not too safe here. Even during the day, there are some creepos hanging around and whistling at women. Anyways, back in 2005, there was going to be a fireworks display at midnight at the town center. Being a little kid, fireworks were everything. They made me feel really happy and were always really pretty. So my mom decided to bring me to see the fireworks at the park. When we arrived there, it was really crowded and noisy. Lots of people yelling, dancing, getting drunk, and having fun. Of course, we would avoid all the drunk men because my dad was overseas for business at the time, and we had no one to protect us. There were also a lot of shady young men hanging around the motorcycles and just screaming, but we avoided them. When the fireworks were about to go off, my mom brought me closer to the center so I could see them. It was tough getting through the large crowd without getting lost, but we managed. That's when I started feeling uneasy about something, like someone was tailing us. Being a kid, I just brushed it off as being afraid that I might stray away from my mom. While I was watching the fireworks, the feeling became stronger, like someone was watching me, but I still brushed it off as my mom just watching me. Then the fireworks stopped and my mom decided we should head home since it was pretty late and I had school the next day. As we were walking through the crowd, this tall man in a black shirt just stepped in front of me and asked where I lived. I almost answered, but then my mom immediately told me not to answer and just walk straight to the car without looking back. Of course, I was confused. The man was just being friendly, in a weird kind of way. Then I felt my mom gently pushing me as though urging me to walk faster to the car. I looked back and I saw the man slowly walking at the same direction we were walking. I already felt creeped out, but I just kept walking ahead. When we got to the car, I looked back and saw the man staring at us as he slowly walked to a car that was parked about 3 cars behind us. I told my mom about him, so she drove off as quick as she can, taking multiple turns and driving in circles until we lost him. When she was sure he wasn't following anymore, she quickly drove us home, and as soon as we got in, she immediately locked the doors. Luckily enough, he didn't follow us all the way and probably even gave up halfway. To this day, I'm wondering what would have happened if my dad was with us, but I sure wouldn't want to see it. So, creepy stalker, let's not meet ever again. There were so many encounters with creepy men that I had, but I figured to share my boyfriend's encounter since it's so much worse than I had, and no guy should ever go through what he's been through. A very brief background before I start sharing. My boyfriend, E, was 1 semester ahead of me in college, but we both had the same lecturer, R, for one of our subjects. E is quite a popular guy, so there are a number of girls who are into him. R is a gay lecturer who can be a little too friendly and biased on genders. When college started, I had R lectures every Tuesday and E had R lectures every Friday. I was running late for R's class because I got lost looking for the classroom and it took me a while to find it. When I arrived, I asked if it was the right classroom and apologized to him for being late. R completely ignored me and kept talking to one of the cuter male students. I find that a bit irritating because the class was supposed to start half an hour ago and yet he's not prepared with any slides or work tasks. So me, being a lazy student, I just secretly played on my PSP, yes, I still used a PSP, and texted my friends. Another 30 minutes went by and then he only started lecturing, giving us work. Then the days went by and it's Friday, so it was E's turn to have R as a lecturer. I waited at the mall, just hanging out at Starbucks and occasionally head to Sephora to put on tester lipsticks. Time went by and I got a text from E that he finished his class, so I went over to the entrance of the mall to wait for him. The mall was opposite to the college, so to get to the mall, E had to cross a small street. E told me some pretty odd things about R. Things like R being a little too comfortable around E, and always called E up to answer certain questions. We both brushed it off and joked that R is into E because he looked gay, though I did find it pretty weird. Few weeks had passed and R just kept giving more attention to the guys in my class and spent 2.5-hour lectures to flirt and chat with the cute guy in my class. I don't know whether I should tell the college staff about it since I usually confuse flirting with being friendly. That's when R started to become very, very odd to E. 5 weeks into the semester, E told me that R started becoming really touchy and intimate. R has been tapping and stroking E's arm during class. I told E to go to the police or to the college since it's counted as harassment, but he told me he doesn't want to create more trouble that would affect his studies. Then fast forward to a week later. E texted me in the middle of class to meet him at the mall since he's leaving early. I found that unusual since he's leaving an hour earlier and he doesn't leave early unless it's an emergency. I was at my apartment at the time, so as quick as I could, I packed some important stuff into my bag and ran down to catch the current bus. When I arrived at the mall, I saw E waiting for me at the entrance, and he looked really shaken up. I ran to him and gave him a hug, and we walked slowly to his car while he's telling me what happened. He told me that when E walked to the front to hand up his overdue assignment, R told him to next time go to his office and hand up assignments, and just before E walked back to his seat, R lightly stroked the lower side of E's stomach, in hopes of E not noticing. I kept yelling at E to go to the police, since even though it's not rape, they have to do something about it. E told me not to go to the police or the college staff about it, and we got into an argument about it. For the next couple weeks, E steered clear of R, leaving classes early, walking opposite direction when see R, bringing me or a friend to go to R's office to hand up assignments, and eventually R also stopped bothering him. We told some people in the college about R, and they started spreading the news about it in hopes of getting the authorities to do something about it, since, as I said in a previous post comment, the authorities here don't do anything about harassment unless it's rape. It's been a year since it happened, and we haven't heard from R for a long time, so our best guess is that he got fired. So, Lecturer R, let's not meet ever again, and if I see you harassing another guy, I won't hesitate to punch you. It's about 8 p.m. and I'm relaxing in my room, enjoying how still the house is because no one is home besides me. It's dark out this time of year, and the only light in my room is from my computer screen and the moon. My window is open and the temperature is really nice. The only sound I hear outside is insects. I start playing video games and put my headphones on because I don't have good speakers. I'm playing for about 10 minutes when I see a light come into my room like someone opened my door. I turn around and see a man standing in my doorway. He's acting like he came into the wrong room and shuts my door quickly. I don't think anything suspicious right away because one of my roommates, Greg, has the room directly across from mine. I figure one of his friends came home with him and just got the wrong room by mistake. I look at the clock and realize neither of them should be home for at least an hour. Greg is out for a religious thing, and my other roommate, Caleb, is at work delivering pizzas. So I start freaking out. I'm not sure if I should go investigate or call the police. Maybe I'm wrong about what time Greg is supposed to get home. I decide to go out and investigate. I slowly walk to the top of the stairs and lean over to look down in my living room, trying to keep out of sight. This man is downstairs trying to take Caleb's laptop, which is on our coffee table. I'm not sure why, but my fear at that moment turns into anger. I'm furious enough that I want to run downstairs and fight this guy. Although my mind is yelling at me, he could be armed, you could die. At that moment, I hear him kind of loudly whisper, "Don't try to come down here, or I'll kill you." This threat brings fear back, but also elevates my anger. I'm paralyzed for what seems like forever, but is really just a few seconds. I'm a nerdy white dude with no training, so what I can only describe as instinct and adrenaline kick in. It's kinda dark, but with some light coming in from the kitchen I can see well enough. He has nothing in his hands except Caleb's laptop. I then look at his waistband for anything like a weapon, and I don't see anything. In fact, his pants are almost falling off him. I know I can get down the stairs in a few seconds, and since he was busy with the laptop, I can just rush him. I run down the stairs full speed, yelling, "Get the fuck out of my house!" and he bolts for the front door. When he tries to open it, he pulls on it in a panic, but it's dead-bolted. He pulls on it so hard, it bends the latch. At this point, I'm maybe 3 feet from him. He manages to get the door unlocked before I get to him, and he runs out into the night. I'm still intent on chasing him, but as I get on my front steps, my rational mind kicks in and tells me, "Don't do it, he's gone, call the cops." So I look through the house to make sure no one else is there. I first go to Caleb's basement room, and on my way back up I see everything sitting on the kitchen sink is knocked over. You should know at this point that the lock on the window above the sink is broken, and that's how he got in. We had been telling our landlord for weeks that it needed to be fixed, and they had done nothing about it. This window above the sink is only about 1 foot tall and 2 feet wide and about 5 feet off the ground, so he must have struggled to get in. I don't see anyone, so I finally call the cops. It only takes them about 10 minutes to get there, but by the time they do, I'm shaking uncontrollably. I don't know if it's just from coming down off the adrenaline or mild shock, but I cannot stop shaking. The cops seem legitimately concerned about me, asking if I am injured or anything. They are worried about my safety first before anything else. After making sure I'm okay, they scan the house too. No one is there. All he got away with was Caleb's laptop, but he didn't even get the charging cable because he tried to rip it from the wall when I rushed him. The cops are here for about an hour asking questions, and Greg gets home during all of this. They ask him some questions too before leaving. The landlord, when we tell him about all this, is really cool about it. He promptly fixed our window, reimbursed Caleb for his laptop, and mostly just felt bad they didn't fix the window in time to prevent this. It's been 8 years since then, and nothing like that has happened to me again. Even though part of me wants it to because I miss the adrenaline rush. So, guy who broke into my house, I'd almost like to meet you again, but let's not. Hi there, thanks so much for listening. Now that things are starting to pick up around here and I've started to get a larger collection of videos up, I'm going to be starting an upload schedule so that viewers can know when to expect new content on the channel. I'll be adding a new video every Friday and Saturday. The Friday uploads will be done in the mid-afternoon, so they'll be ready for any Friday night spook sessions that anybody has planned, and the Saturday videos will go up in the mid-morning. As always, if you have any stories that you'd like to have featured on this channel, please email them to readingrubyYT@gmail.com, which I'll list in the description for you below, so you can copy and paste that. Please be sure to include in your email your name as you'd like to have it featured here and express permission for me to publish it on this channel. If you're interested in Let's Plays or live streams, go ahead and check out VexTech Labs. I'll add some links down in the description for that as well. My friends and I, all playing some video games together, and I like to think it's pretty amusing. So check us out. Thanks again for watching, leave a like and a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and stay safe out there.